Eric, I'm Eric Hermanson. A lot of people call me Hermanson, but that's not how my name is pronounced. I seldom correct anyone on it. And I forgive anyone that said it wrong, but it is Eric Hermanson. The least important thing I'll say today. So I'm making a game. It's called The God Killer. It's a 3D top-down puzzle-solving adventure. You control a character who is in a fight with God. With God. I'm tired of always adding the extra little qualifier. A fictitious God, not your God, the God of this other universe. What if it was your God? What if it was your God who was in this game? Or at least my interpretation of your God. Would that be so off-putting? I mean, there's been all kinds of movies where there was a God character in it. There was the ones with Morgan Freeman in it. There was Bruce Almighty. There's been tons of them. So that's not such a big deal. But in this game, God is... he was going to be an asshole. And I did take a more nuanced point of view on it. It's kind of like, okay, if there is a God, I'm agnostic, by the way, but if there is a God, considering all the stuff that's in the world right now, what is that God likely to be like? What's a possible motivation for God to have set up the world as he did now? And if you were to make up a new world, and this is a new world in this game, how would he make that next world? What would he do different? What would he change? What would he kind of have regrets about in previous universes that he'd made? So that is very much explored in this game, and I've been clarifying my thoughts on that. I have already deleted a whole bunch of dialogue that I had previously written because it just felt like I'm making the God character, I'm making him into another GLaDOS from Portal. You know, just kind of a smart aleck, smarmy, sadistic character, and I felt like it was derivative, but also it was a missed opportunity. So this new God that I'm making, he's a little more relatable. He's smarter. He's more empathetic. He does say a lot of confusing things, but there's an implication that perhaps without him trying to be mysterious, there's reasons for him not being as clear as a confused person might hope for him to be about explaining things. And there'll be a conflict between the main character and God in this game, and I want it to be an interesting relationship between the two of them. So I've kind of opened myself up to bothering people with the story, with some of the turns that are going to happen in it. It's going to be a more interesting story as a result. So I'm stalling a little bit here. Why? If I go over and show my screen that had my actual workspace, what you'll see is that I'm installing Unity, a newer version of Unity. I went on a business trip. That's why no streams for the last 7 days. I did work every single day on this game, as is my regimen. I worked in airports. I worked after business dinners with colleagues, with just a little bit of an alcohol buzz on and wanting to watch TV, but before I go kind of fall asleep and relax, I would go, oh, I gotta write a little bit of code. I gotta do a little bit of code in this game. So I maintained that over the last 7 days. It was hard, if I'm honest, working in airports. I worked on the airplane, and I had a laptop, which is not like a smaller laptop that fits well. And I was hunched over that laptop, like kind of like a T-Rex. I was typing like with my hands sort of like reaching down into the crevice of the keyboard, and the screen is not all the way open. It's just open just so I can just barely kind of see the text. But I was like, I'm serious. I gotta do something on this game every day. I don't know why it's so important to me. It just feels like as long as I keep that, I've got like it's like impossible for me not to finish. As long as every day I do something, it's impossible for me not to finish. That's how it feels. So when I was working on my laptop on my business trip over the last 7 days, I didn't have a recent enough version of Unity for the project to work, so I go and upgrade, and then the project files are saved on my laptop with a slightly more modern version of Unity. And so now I'm back on my home desktop, and I'm updating Unity here to be the same one that's on my laptop, so the project files that are already transferred over will open up without some nonsense. But even as I've done that, there is even like another version of Unity, more modern. I tend not to upgrade unless I have to. By the way, the problem I had with Unity crashing on me all the time, I did fix that. I can't remember what it was. Actually, I think what the problem is, I tried like a couple of things all at one time, and one of them was probably the cause, but it's hard to know which one fixed it. The things that I tried was moving all of my code that updates the scene in response to editor events inside of update functions instead of onValidate. So every place that I had an onValidate handler that was doing something to change the scene in the editor, I moved that code into update, because I've had many sort of undocumented problems with any code that updates the scene that is in the onValidate handler. And it's not officially a bad thing to do according to Unity, but you will see warnings in some of the functions, like setting the parent, and I just saw weird behavior until I moved that. Okay, so that was one thing I did. The other thing I did is I had one object whose renderer was turned off, and there was some code that was getting like a null renderer and trying to do something with it. And so I just added a check in that code to not do anything with the renderer instance if it was null. And those two things, I think one of them is responsible for fixing the crashes. But I guess it's interesting that even though there are like null exceptions and different checks going on inside of the editor, this wasn't even in the player. Having a few things that are not done the proper way can still crash Unity. And those crashes really suck. Okay, we got the installation. It's done. It is done. It is done. It is done. So that means that I can go over to my projects, I can open up my hand recorder, okay, so I've got two projects. There's the main game project, which I'm not opening, and then I've got my hand recorder project. This is a standalone utility. It uses the Leap Motion to record hand motions and save them to an animation file that I can play back inside of the game. So there's a character, God, who is just represented in the game as two floating hands, and I want, when God speaks, for the hand motions to correspond to talking. So if I got my hands up here and I'm saying stuff, I want my hand motions to kind of go along with the audio. And in order to do that, I'll first record, I'm doing like kind of exaggerated hand motions in the video window. In order to do that, in order to have hand motions that go along with audio, I'll first record the audio from the actor that is going to be responsible for it, and then I'll take the audio clip, play it back inside of the utility, and I will wave my hands around along with the audio so that the hand motions that are recorded match what the actor is saying. Things like the actor says, all of the time, you don't make me angry. You know, going to use this utility to handle that. Skip this version. I don't want it. Okay. So, and I have been working on this for a while. It's one of like the hairier tasks with slower progress because I've had to go in and let me just this will be the demo portion of this. Okay, so it's playing back in animation here. So I've had to go in and kind of cautiously figure out how to separate the Leap Motion SDK code and the distributable binaries from the code that I need to play back the hand animations, and that's no small task, because there's quite a few definitions that are used that are inside of these binary files. I can't redistribute the binaries. At least it's not practical to. Cause me different issues if I do that. For one, there aren't binaries on every platform that I would want to support. For two, it's an old deprecated version of the SDK. For three, legal reasons. I mean, I can do it, I can distribute it, but I'd rather be free and clear of the legal reasons. For four, I just don't want any kind of dependence on this hardware at all. And with binary stuff, it's a black box, so you never know what you're pulling in. It might be causing, when you start up the library, when you initialize it, for it to query the USB ports to see if there's a device there, and you don't want to do that because on some platforms maybe that USB port is used by something. You know, it's just bringing in like risk. I don't want the risk. So I've taken this SDK code that's distributed with the SDK and used it as the basis of a utility to record hand motions. And I've got my own proprietary file format, which is fully independent of the SDK. And so I'm getting it to a place where it will play back the audio and let you record the hand motions directly into this sort of proprietary format of mine. Proprietary not meaning like I really aim to protect it so much. It's just it's not It's not the Leap format. It's not any other known format. Alright, so I'm going to go off into the code and continue to make progress every damn day on this, including today. This is my starting coding music. It's very exciting, much more exciting than the actual act of coding. Okay. You'll hear me get much less verbose. Much less. Okay, so I'm going to think out my strategy, stuff I want to get done. Okay. Consolidate recording logic inside of GK recording controls. TK hand controller should receive GK hand animation and only set left right hand frame. Only add. Okay, so that's the next thing I'll do. I have one issue that I can't use the built-in recording stuff very well, because at least while I'm on stream, because I've got so much USB usage with my microphone and my webcam and all the mice and hard drives and stuff hooked up into my USB bus that the Leap Motion is starved for USB bandwidth and can't seem to record well. So off stream, I want to use recording state to collect frames from Leap and add them to GK hand animation. No saving to a file, to a frame file. Okay. Hmm. So I'm trying to figure out if this hand controller thing is meant to track one hand per controller, or multiple. So this list of all hand controllers. This is all the hand controllers. How does that get populated? Let me take a look. On enable. Okay, so hand models. Hand models are the actual objects that are inside of the scene. So this is going to get past a list of all the hand models. So the question is, who calls it? Are you calling it for everything? I think so. Okay, I think it's possible to have more than one hand controller, but each hand controller can control more than one. Can call more than one. Can update more than one hand model. Because this is the update for it. It's going to update the recorder. Okay, it's going to get the frame. It's going to take the frame that it got and use that to update all the hand models. Okay, makes sense, makes sense. So one hand controller is all I'm going to need. Okay, so if I fixed. Okay. No, don't do it. Oh, this is hand motion. Okay. Alright, cool. I wasn't so far off on this. Alright. I don't think this will work quite yet. Alright, I'm gonna go pee. I gotta pee. I'll be right back. I will be back very soon. To fix these syntax errors. I killed a man in Reno just to watch him die. I'm kind of curious if I just try hooking this up again. It might work. It's possible. All right, I'm gonna hook up the leap. I'm gonna see if I can get it to be recognized. Nope. Still USB stuff. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, it's the same situation. Yeah, okay. This is like, what? Really? All good? I think it's got some performance issues that are basically the bus is just really, really overloaded. It kind of annoys me. I just feel like since computers these days make you plug like every fucking thing into USB. Everything. Every damn thing. Just, you ought to have just limitless USB buses. At least, like, there should be no practical limit to it. I mean, I didn't buy like a little Chromebook. I bought friggin' iMac, a nice one. So, step up, man. Let's see if this works. It started to, it was almost, seeing it was almost, you could see that it could almost work. Alright, just, let's get out of this. No, I gotta do it off stream. Off stream. There's just too much USB shit going on. Too much. Unplugging the device. And I'll work a little bit longer on stream with a few tasks that don't require the Leap device to be plugged in, and then I'll probably go off stream to keep going because I do want to get it properly hooked up so that it actually uses recording frames from the Leap device. Right now I'm using a playback, and I'm converting that a playback of a previously recorded thing, and I'm using that to test out some code, but it's getting to a point where I need to abandon that. So I'll do a little bit more. The other thing I want to do, I'll call this my session goal. That it should give you a countdown, like a 3, 2, 1, and then begin playing the audio, and then begin the recording state at that point. That's going to be my session goal. That's not too hard. I can get that done. I always like to have a good session goal. Alright, so okay. I am a fan of Text Mesh Pro. I am. It has served me well. So let's call this record lead in text. Countdown text. Okay, so we get some nice centered text. So if I do that, I'll scale countdown to match. Okay. Let's see if that shows in front of everything. It does. It does. It does. Okay. So then I want some kind of controller for that countdown. Actually, I don't need even to do that. And that's pretty easy. Public. Private. Gotta compile it first. Okay. Pro. There's another one though. Okay, I gotta do using T. Yeah. It's like that. Okay. TM. Pro. There's another one. There's another one. It's called like Text Mesh Pro UGUI. Okay, let's do it that way. Text Mesh Pro. Where's my autocomplete? Oh, fuck you. UGUI. Who knows? Where's my fucking autocomplete? TM equals this game object. No autocomplete. That sucks, man. I want my autocomplete. This game object. Get component. Alright. Oh, amazingly I got it right even without the friggin' autocomplete. It's doing weird highlighting stuff though, so I'm gonna close it and see if it'll act normal when I reopen it. Okay. So FTM. Writing code like this kind of defensive code, because Unity fucking crashes when you get this stuff wrong. And that sucks. Okay, TM text equals the new text. Three, two, one. Okay. So let me see. Set text. No, it's the opposite. It's like, I forget. I could do it the way I was doing it, but I'll try to do it the nice way. C sharp, number to string. Okay. That works. Get started. I think that'll do it. I think that will do it. Oh, no, I need something to start the countdown. Okay. No, not the start. Is count. Yeah, that's good. Okay. Got that going. And then make this a singleton pattern. and what if this worked on the very first try? Would that not be amazing? If my little countdown worked on the very first try. Oh, I'll make sure that I add the friggin' script to it. Three, two, one, go, like that. Three, two, one, go. Okay, it did work, but I forgot to clear it when it gets to 0. If not, is and I think I won't make it show the 0. I think it'll be kind of like an implied 0. 3, 2, 1. And then you just got to feel the beat and start on the beat. Because the audio will start playing at 0 once I have it hooked up correctly. If not, is counting. Or I can say if is counting. Always good to avoid negatives. Otherwise, set the text to empty. Pretty important to have that countdown because if I hit the record button with my hand, I'm not able to begin with my hands in the correct motion relative to the leap motion device to record along with the audio. So I want that countdown and delay there. So let us try that again. Three, two, one. Okay, that's good. I've got some error someplace else, so I might as well debug. Oh, yeah, okay, that makes sense. Okay. So the hand motion's good, but I do need like one more state to track before I actually begin the playback. So this comes back to my need to do some of this off stream, because I don't want to start the playback after the countdown. I want to start recording after the countdown. So I'm not going to edit this to move the playback so it starts after the countdown, because it's not the main thing I want to do. That's just kind of like helping me demo or develop one part of this in isolation. I'm going to move away from it, but I'll have to go off stream to do that. The other thing I can do though while I'm still on stream is start the playback of audio after after the countdown finishes. let's say, do I want to add one more state here? I think so. I think so. So allow start GK saving. Instead of having it go to this GK saving railway, I'll have it go to the countdown first. So that'll mean I need a new recorder state. Countdown. So for anyone just joining, I'm making a recording utility that takes leap motion hand movements and saves them in a file, a certain file that my game will be able to play back. And so I'm currently adding a few refinements that will play some audio that the recordings of the hand motion should be synchronized to. So go into the countdown. We'll allow stopping saving. Progress to GK saving after countdown. That'll be a new function that will actually check on the countdown to see if it's passed. Okay, so if I go here, I can make that function. This is where I would play audio. think that's basically right. So I added a check that will see if there is like an audio file that's missing a hands file that goes along with it, and that'll protect against this problem here. So I shouldn't be able to start the recording. Stop. So I hit G. Awesome. That's exactly as I wanted. So now I actually have to put an audio file in the expected location. Let me see what I got. What do I got? I think I got some Arky stuff I could use.
The delver is presented with not one, but two impossible puzzles, and so is doubly confounded.
That would do it. Alright, so let's just copy some of these off to this other directory. So if I go to, where is it? Here? No, it's in some other weird location. View, go to folder, library. Okay. Default company. And record. Oh, this is where a whole bunch of projects got saved and I forgot about them. I have to come back to that at some point. Okay. So let me paste the items here. So now I've got these WAV files that are in this persistent storage location. And my logic is such that it's going to check for any WAV file that doesn't have a corresponding hands file, which is the file format I've made up for capturing animation of hands, and it will record for those. So that's kind of like, that'll be the list of what needs to be recorded. So two, one. Okay. My state's not quite correct there. I mean, it did show the countdown properly. It didn't really progress to the next stage. I must have messed something up. Yeah, okay. So it's not detecting the end of the countdown. Oh, I'm guessing that. Yeah, okay. I got it. 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 Okay, This is ugly. This state management. It's pretty gross. I'm kind of like pushing this state all the way up into a weird object that I don't really. It doesn't need to go there, but it's just easier for the moment to put it there. Okay. This is not nice coding. This is ugly. I'm spending less time making it pretty because it's utility code. And I don't have a lot of changes to make to this along the way. So if I just follow the pattern a little while longer, even though I should have outgrown it, there's not too much ugliness in my future. Start countdown. I'll even call it set countdown state, just so it's clear I'm not actually handling the countdown inside of these objects. So, quarter. There it is. I suppose it might be useful to have it here at some point. It seems wrong though. Seems wrong. It seems dirty. Okay, so that's pretty good. Okay, I didn't hit my breakpoint because I forgot to start the debugger, but I saw the progression to the GK saving state. Also, there should be a hands file here, and there is. So the way it works is now that I've got a hands file corresponding to this wave file, it's sort of the equivalent of this one is done. And the next time that I try to record, it'll pick 140 or one of these other ones that doesn't have a hands file associated with it. If I want to re-record one of them, Kamikaze Toy, what's going on, man? If I want to re-record one of these, I just delete it, which is like not a real nice interface, but you know, good enough. Man, I'm still on these hands. I want to be done with the hands, the hand recording. I'm making progress all the time, but there's just a lot left. But once it's done, I'm going to be happy. So I can move on to more stuff. So let's see. The other thing I want to do is play back some audio right when the countdown starts. So I already wrote some code for this. Just let me go look at that code so I don't have to write it again. Will be in dialogue under persistent audio. There we go. So loading the clip. Yeah, this stuff here. Yeah, clip, audio, whoops, and persistent audio, and do something like that. So one thing I could do. Something like that. Let's see. Load clip. And file path. Guess I want to pass a mono behavior in, because that'll let me start a coroutine. Don't need this whole dictionary thing. Clip. So if I try to load a clip, then first I'll set the audio clip to null. Okay, let's start that. And let's do something like play clip. And just, if it's finished loading, then it's gonna just play what was there. So if it's my audio clip is you know, I can just make this a mono behavior. That'll help me in a few ways. Then I don't have to pass that in. Audio clip not equal null. Then I'll play it. Play it. Okay. IEnumerator is coming from. I need this. Let's get this like that. Okay, that takes care of that. Okay, that should load the clip. The other thing I need to play a clip is an audio source. Let's add an audio source, and let's add that nifty new script I just made. Okay, to get the audio source, I'm gonna do something like audio. Get the component. Okay. Audio source. Play one shot. Play one shot. Play one shot. Audio clip. Okay. So thinking about this. So a nice thing about this countdown is that it can disguise the loading delay, or the audio can happen in the background while the countdown is occurring. So I can say, do the singleton thing again. Okay, so if I say private persistent audio, so I make a singleton instance of this, and then I don't have to do anything too tricky as far as getting access to this from another object. This code would do poorly if I had multiple game objects in the scene that were of a persistent audio type, but since I know that I only have one, I can create this get singleton method and it'll be reliable. So I've got the static method here. It's going to return singleton instance of persistent audio. I'll close this guy now. So over here, let's say get my singleton, load my clip. This is going to be wave file path. I'll start it loading, then I've got this visual countdown, which you'll see in a second. And when it counts to 3, and so let's say if it's still counting, or if a clip is not done loading, then I'm going to stay in a certain waiting state. Clip load. Countdown or wave loading, not finished. But at this point, the audio will be loaded. So I can play the clip right as the animation starts. So build all that. Good chance this works the first time. So what it should do, if I'm successful, is when I hit the key to start recording, it'll do a countdown. It'll go 3, 2, 1, and on the 0, it will begin playing audio, and the hands will move around. Okay, stop. Okay. 3.
Yeah, the devil may choose to be armed or disarmed, giving him a false sense of control. If he is disarmed, he won't be able to survive the onslaught of roaches. But if he is armed, he won't be able to guide the Fogando. Either way, he's trapped.
Okay, that worked. That worked. I'm happy about that. Let me see, did it record the hands file? It did. It went on to the next wave file that didn't have a hands file. It recorded the hands file associated with it. I think I'm going to do one more thing for this session. It's like playing 21. If I keep on saying hit me, I'll get a task I can't complete in the session, and it'll bum me out. It'll make me upset. I think I'll try one more thing. And that's that I'll detect when the WAV file finishes playing, and I'll stop the hand recording automatically when it gets to that point. I think I can do that. The countdown is important because it lets me synchronize the hand recording with the audio. Otherwise, I would hit the record key, it would start recording hand motions right away, and my hands would be in the same position where the record key was. And that would be poor. It would result in a poor recording of hand movements. Okay, so let's create another function like this. Stopped after clip end. Okay. I think I can do if I'll make a new method there to check for the clip to finish playing, and if yes, then I'll say might as well do this one time, not every single time. Then here, while it's saving, I say okay, if this works, that's going to be the end of the session. I will not ask for another card from the blackjack dealer. I do not want to bust. Want to end in triumph. Always end in triumph. Okay, stop. 3, 2, 1.
Here, the delver is ensnared by one of the classic speed potion traps. He needs the potion in order to get away from the exploding bombs in time. But once he has taken it, he will be forced to kill the adder before it can trigger the precipice.
It stopped. Right when I said it would. Damn. That was just a lot of code I wrote that worked the first time. I love that shit. Let me see. Is the hands file there? It's there. It's all there. That's beautiful. Kamikaze Toy, I'm going to end on a good note. Thanks for joining me for a little bit. Appreciate it. See you later, man. Stopping the stream.